Well, this should be fun, friends. So I just want to start off by thanking the sponsors of this event. We have the We Tech Alliance, the Mama and Family Expo, Rise, a group for women entrepreneurs, and the Windsor Essex Small Business Center, who are sponsoring this for all the mamas who want to just take a break, and all you kids who need to know how to learn how to paint Baby Yoda. So just remember that this is just for fun, and we are all just going to do the best we possibly can tonight. There's absolutely no pressure at all. And the best part is that I am recording this other than Facebook, so sometimes I have questionable internet speeds, which is going to be remedied very soon, and I'm very excited about it. So I am recording this at the same time, and I'm going to have it up on my YouTube channel later. So if you go to youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party, then you should be able to find this really good recorded video over the next few days too. So, oh yeah, Lynn, how's it going? Of course I remember. Pandas. Yeah, we painted pandas on Saturday. Sweet, I'm so glad you came. It's so fun to see my friends at the parties that we're hosting. So anyways, oh good, Catherine. I'm super excited to do this tutorial too. So what's gonna happen, and just remember guys, that I am gonna paint the Baby Yoda on my paper that I have here, but you can absolutely just draw him along with us and color him in colored pencil or crayons. You don't need to have paint to make this party work for you. And it's pretty simple, and we're just literally going to take it one line at a time. We're going to draw it on with the pencil. So grab a pencil. Excuse me. I have one sip of a tea and it starts making me burp. Grab a pencil. So I have like a little push pencil here. If you are painting, we have some green, some white, some black, some brown, and some red paint for this painting. You know, we kind of just work with what we got. So if you don't have one of the colors, let's just make it work the best that we can. It's going to be all good. Like I said, this is just for fun. Hey, Kathy. Kathy's from Barrie. Oh, Kaylee, how's it going? This is your 5th time painting with me? That's amazing. Well, thanks for continuing to show up, friends. That honestly fills my heart with so much joy. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for being here. I just want to see what I missed here. So, hi, Aiden and Eric, and thanks, Leanne. I feel like he is very cute as well. Irene, how's it going? Catherine, I'm stoked that you're looking forward to it. And Deb, hey, Deb's here, yay. Lindsay can hear, Melissa can hear. Okay, perfect. Yay, Tiana's here. And Tiana's one of the beautiful sponsors of this event, so thank you so much for inviting me to do this for you guys. And Dana from Ottawa and Gina is here, and thank you for asking. I am very good, thank you. You know, it's just really cold outside, so this is kind of fun because at least we have indoor activities while it's freezing. I don't know if I've felt it this cold. It's been a really long time. Hi, Laura. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you decided to show up tonight. Yay. Marcel, honestly, I want to keep this within the hour, so we should be done by 7:30. There's a chance that we might go a little longer, but I'm really going to try and keep it chill and quick. And hey, Rupa, what's up, girl? Hi, Kale and Addison are ready too. That's awesome. So just remember, guys, we all need a pencil to draw our Baby Yoda on with first before we get any painting done. So make sure you got a pencil. And he's so cute. He's like, I made this Baby Yoda specifically so that his head is literally the same size as his ears. So, oh, thanks, Tammy. That's really sweet. Thank you. Marcel, I will start in 3 minutes. So I like to welcome all my friends first. I get started a little early, so the party officially starts at 6:30. Oh, cool. Bryn, happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Oh, great. All right. So, if anybody hasn't met me before, obviously you can get a sense of what my personality is like. I love to paint, but honestly, I just really like to make people happy too. So, I hope that you find small or very large amounts of joy during this party. I That's kind of what I'm going for. So I hope it exudes. And just remember, guys, we're going to do this all together. And you know what? My painting's not going to look the same as the one that I made before. And your painting's not going to look the same as mine. And you know why? Because we're all different people. So let's be really easy on ourselves. We're not going for some perfect, amazing painting tonight. We're just going to have a good time. We want to hang out with our friends and just relax, and maybe you'll learn something new. So let's see, Brody and Sadie, let's see, are here from Tecumseh. Yeah. All right, Brody. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got going on. Now, moms who are hooking up their kids with this video right now, just remember, after the party, make sure you go and join the Julie's Paint Party public group. That's where you can post all of your kids' pictures, and then we can rant and rave about how incredible everybody did there. So after the party, make sure you are a part of my public Facebook group, Julie's Paint Party public Facebook group. I have a private one and I have a public one, so get that private or public one going there. Do you have plans to do the awesome Mandalorian we saw a couple months ago? Yeah, that's I think it may happen. It may happen. If I can get enough requests, maybe I'll put it out there and see how many people want to do that one. And thanks, Alicia. I'm getting really excited. My husband's been helping me set up my studio, and the last missing piece of this whole thing is high-speed internet. So guess what? We finally got accepted to the beta program for the Starlink program that Elon Musk has put out, and we will be receiving high-speed internet in the next couple weeks, and there will be no lags, and all my videos will be shot, and they'll be super high definition, and I'm super excited, not only for me, but for you guys too, because let's be honest, it's kind of poo-poo when the feed goes in and out, so. All right. Cool, Bobby and Laura and Sila, awesome. And Heather, yes, this will be available later. And I just broke my pencil. So anyways, it's officially 6:30, so let's officially get this party started. Guys, make sure you have a pencil. I have a push pencil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this camera forward and point it at the pad that's behind me here. We're going to get a good close-up of Grogu himself while I'm drawing him on, and we're just going to take it one little step at a time, and it's all good. Marcel, I will see if I can do a cat. I know my girl's been loving the Gabby cats on Netflix lately. What is it? It's called Gabby's Dollhouse. She loves it, and to be honest, I love it too. So a cat I think should be in the works soon. And hi Reese and hi Anson, and let's get this party started. So I look like one of the Harry Potter moving pictures. Oh, great. That's really good. I'm just going very slowly. All right, friends, let's officially do this. And grab your pencils because it's time to start. All right. So, like I said, we're drawing this guy on here. I have my push pencil. We're starting with just the little top of his head. So I really think his ears are his most adorable part. So I like to make his head almost the same size as his ears. So if you need to kind of section off your piece of paper or whatever you're using, I'm going to put 2 little dots on either side here. And you can take your fingers, see if they're roughly the same size. So I could probably go over just a little bit more with my dot here. And I'm going to attach these 2 dots together. So I know that you can't see the dots super duper well right now, but hopefully you can see this. Now, Grogu's head isn't very round at the top. It's very flat. So make sure that when you're making the top of his little noggin here, it's nice and flat. Obviously it's a little rounded, but flat. Now, a couple inches underneath each of these points here, I'm going to make 2 more little points. And this time, I'm going to attach them the same way, except for I'm going to give him the tiniest little chin right underneath here. So, I'm going under, yeah. And I'm going over, and I'm attaching it up. That's funny. The first time I saw you not in your plaid shirt, haha. Deb, legitimately, it's just so cold in my basement that I have to wear a sweater. But thanks for noticing. Plaid's my jam, y'all. Okay, so this is going to be his face, and on each side we're going to give him big old ears. Now I'm going to start right in that, back at that dot. I'm going to go under and over, and I'm going to keep it pretty much in alignment with the top of his head. So little dupe under, I'm coming up and over, pulling up, and he's got this nice round spot at the top of his ear here. And I'm going to come back around. And again, this is almost in alignment with the bottom of his chin. It doesn't have to be exact. Almost. And I'm going to do it on the other side too. So, under, over, back down and up and around, and down we go. Shoop. Monsters. Monster ears, let me tell you. Now we got to put his little coat on there. So Grogu's little coat, I'm going to make the big puffy part of his neck. You can even make little points if you want. 1/2 inch into his ears. So I'm going to bring it down one way. It's just a couple inches, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide on both sides. Past his chin. And this part's going to come over and attach. So the little fold in his neck piece here is just on the other side of his chin. And then each side that pops out the sides is going to be his arms. So right over here in this corner, I'm going to come down one way, pop over, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, come down the other way, and pop over. And then I'm not going to go all the way to the top, maybe like halfway up his arm, right where at the end of his sleeve here. I'm going to go down and around. And the same thing over here. Oh, I think I went a little too far on this side. I'm going to go down and around. And then I'm going to attach this part up all the way to the top. So yeah, he's not looking super perfect. And just remember, everything can be fixed up as we're painting and putting all the things on. So I don't like to hold myself too much. I might be pressing a little hard with my pencil to make changes, but you know what? Everybody's gonna know that he's Grogu, and it's kind of cute when they're wonky, is it not? I really like wonky characters. Now, he's got 3 little fingers that pop out each side of his shirt here. If you feel like you need to make noises while you do it, I highly suggest it. I feel like if I make noises while I'm painting, it helps me concentrate more and it makes me draw better. So just keep that in mind. Now, his eyes are shaped like lemons, and they're obviously enormous. So what we're going to do is give him 2 lemons right on either side of his face here. So I'm just going to come up and around. Now you can do this 2 ways. If you want, you can make 2 points. So a point at the front and a point at the back of his eye, or you can just make a point right at the front of his eye and loop it around and connect it at the back, just like a round thing. And then a round thing meaning his eye. His eye is the thing that I'm talking about. And then back over here, up and around. Connect. And you know what? He's got a little nose, but you get to decide if you want him to have just like a little nose like this, or maybe you want to give him a couple little nostrils. This is a very simple Baby Yoda, so we're not going into massive detail here. Everybody's going to know it's Baby Yoda. And his mouth is nice and long, and you can give him a little smirk on the side too. I think he needs to be a little bit happy, right? So sometimes he's so stone cold, it's hard to tell what kind of emotion he's got going on, but a little grin is kind of nice. Maybe he's just eaten all of the eggs out of that lizard person's, and he's full and he's happy. So yeah, my head definitely looks like a mustache too. I can see it. I see the mustache. Cheers to Yoda mustache heads. Okay, now the last little bit here, we're going to give him, you can give him a line straight down the center of his forehead, and it just kind of hits the top of his eyes. So in alignment with his eyes, we're going to have one wiggle that comes down this way. So we have an actual S that shaped that way. And this is an opposite S over here. So they kind of look like a little brackets on his forehead. And then we have another line that comes down and around his eyes on each side. So guys, I know I'm going a little bit quick. I apologize for that, but we are on a timeline, so we have to make this work. I don't want anybody to be late for bedtime. That would be a travesty. So now, guy are the centers of his ears. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just follow along the same shape of his ear right inside there and make sure it's nice and filled in on both sides. All right, so take a second and finish up your drawings. I just want to remind everybody that you can absolutely just go ahead. You can follow along color for color, and I'm going to Baby Yoda in, but you can use colored pencils, crayons. You know, this is just for supplies that you have going on here. Oh, well, that's lovely. Princess Camilla is enjoying her drawing. Oh, and Asia loves hers. That's so great. So one thing that's going to happen while we're painting our Baby Yoda is we're actually going to use quite a bit of water, and we're going to be mixing all of our paints with a little bit of white. All right. So let me just move this over a little bit. We got both of our Baby Yodas here. Oh, great. Leanne, yours looks angry. Well, sometimes Baby Yoda, oh, Tommy loves his drawing, says Ramona. That's good. Anson, mine looks adorable. Perfect. I'm sure they all look adorable. I love it. I love when kids do drawings because they always have like a little bit of a little wonkiness to them, and I just think it's so cute. So for this painting, like I said, we're going to be using a lot of white to mix in with our colors, and we're going to be using a lot of water. And what I'm pretty much going to use just one brush the whole time. So I have this medium flat brush that I like to use. It's a 1/2 inch flat brush, and I think this will do the job. Oh, there we go. There you go. Get on there. This should do the job. So Leanna, that's probably perfect then. She says, my Baby Yoda is kind of cute, but kind of messed up. Lovely. Well, the best thing about messing up is that there's always room to fix it when we're painting him in. Now, we're going to start by making the color green. And I have green. I have this dark green. And I'm also going to use white. And I just get these paints from the dollar store, guys. I like to keep it super chill. And let's just remember that we're in quarantine, so we don't need to use a whole lot of paint. Just put a little bit of paint on your palette at a time. And one step at a, if you run out of paint, you can always add a little bit more paint in there. Oh, Laura, haha, sounds good. And Gina has like 100 brushes, so you're good to go too. Perfect. So I always have a red Solo cup of water. And I have my brush here. And like I said, we're going to be using some water and mixing the two colors together. So this is what I got going on. White and green. I'm going to mix my green, or actually I'm going to take some white and mix it in with my green over here. But first, I'm just going to add a couple little drops of water into my green paint. So this is going to liquid it up a little bit. I'm going to take a nice big scoop of white and start to make a little bit of light green right on the side of my paint here. Focus, focus, camera, focus. Here we go. So you can see I have this nice light color. So there's the white, there's my dark green. I mixed them together to make this nice light green. And honestly, you get to pick how dark or light your Baby Yoda green is, okay? I'm going to add one more drop of color in there. Or, sorry, water. Bleh, 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 bleh. A little bit of water. And I'm literally going to paint his face and his hands. And I'm just going to paint over everything. So over top of all of my pencil lines. I keep wanting to say brush strokes. I'm going to brush stroke right over top of all of my pencil lines. And I'm going to fill in all around his ears. Now, I'm not going to fill in the center of his ears, but his eyes and over his nose and everything is all good. And today I'm just using, it's called a mixed media art pad. And I've been really enjoying using this because it's just so nice. Even though I usually use canvases to paint on, it feels really good to have all of my paintings in one book. And I don't have to hold so many canvases. Because I don't know if you saw behind me, I have shelves and shelves and shelves full of canvases. And that's just, there aren't even any doubles in there. It's crazy. Oh, that's perfect. Acrylic tiny paints are perfect because you don't need a whole lot of paint anyways. And I also want to remind everybody that if you go outside the lines or like inside anywhere where you need more colors, don't worry about it because we are going to outline our character after. So if you go a little bit outside the lines, there's lots of room to fix this up. So I'm just filling in all the green spots. In and around his ears, in his face. And over the river and through the woods to baby Grogu's we go. We're coloring him in with some green paint. Yodely, yodely, yo. And then he's got a little bit of green in each of his hands. Now, the coolest part about this painting is that we're doing a really expressive, sweet, scribbly background. So every time we use a color, we're going to go ahead, we're going to fill them in, and then we're going to scribble in the background. But to scribble, I do like to add a little bit of extra water, just so it's nice and light in the background. So this little bit of green I got here, I'm going to add a few more drops of water to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and make some streakies. And often when I'm doing backgrounds like this, I keep my streaks going up and down and side to side. Now, 100% you get to choose what direction your brushstrokes go in, but I really find that when you kind of do it in a more of a grid style, so you go up a few times, go to the side a few times, up a few times, add a little extra water, move that paint around, get it nice and liquidy, nice and watercolory. And it's green, so you can totally attach it to his head without worrying about coloring inside the head. Add a little more water. Back and forth, up and down, back and forth, up and down. That style definitely lends more to looking like he's against a back wall or something like that. It's not so like scribble back and forth like in a diagonal way, which is totally fine if you prefer to do it that way. There's no wrong way to paint. That's the best part about painting. Oh my goodness. So just a reminder, with that said, painting is such a unique process. We're all different, right? And we all see things differently. And let's just be reminded of how many $1,000,000 paintings got sold out there of like, you know, a flower or something, and it barely even looks like a flower, but you know, everybody knows that it's a flower. I think that that person probably really enjoyed painting that flower. And that's what we're doing today. We're enjoying painting Grogu, and I bet you any money at the end, whoever sees it's going to be like, oh, look, Baby Yoda or Baby Grogu. Great job. Because we all know who he is. Let's be honest. Okay. So I scribbled in. I gave him a little place to live here. So he's actually standing on some paint down at the bottom here. He's got some scribbles in the background. It's all good. And I'm going to go ahead now and squirt a tiny little bit of brown. Tiny, just a little bit on my plate. So this is the next round. We got some brown here. And like I said, I'm going to continue to add a little bit of white in with all of my colors. So I'm just going to rinse my brush a little bit. Give it a little wipey on my nappy. A little wipe on my napkin. A little wipey on my napkin. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the green. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and move it over to my brown, and I'm just going to mix those two colors together. So I'm just making a nice light brown. Right over here, just taking a little bit of brown, and you get to decide how dark or light your brown wants to be. The one nice thing about adding white in with our paints is that often, especially with the dollar store paints, the colors can be very transparent, so they're kind of see-through if you just use them on their own. But white tends to have a lot of pigment in it, so when you add a little bit of white in with the colors that you're using, it makes them look really solid, and it fills areas in it really, really nicely. Okay, so this is what the brown I have looks like here. Boop. And Anson, yeah, we are all different, and isn't that so wonderful? It's so great. Or else, like, life would be so boring if everybody was the same. Okay. So I made my little bit of brown, my little bit of light brown here, got going on my plate. I'm going to take some water and just add a few drops of water into my light brown. Now, my paintbrush is really loaded up with paint. You might find that that's the same. You might want to wipe a little bit of it off. You can even scrape it off on the side of your palette if you need to. And then I'm coloring in his coat with one little stroke at a time. Now, one thing I do like to do, especially in these kinds of areas, You can fill it in however you want. You can, scribble it in. It's all good. You're filling in the area. It's nice and loose, but I kind of want it to look nice and uniform. So after I'm finished filling in this area, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to give it a once over by taking my brush from one side all the way to the other and making sure all of my brush strokes go the same way. Now, depending on how old you are, that might be a little bit more of an advanced move, but it really does lend well. So if you color it all in, just take your brush after and smooth it out by bringing all of your brush strokes in the same direction. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you're having fun, Gina. Because painting is the best. Is it not? It's so good. Okay, now I will fill in this coat. Same rules apply. Just fill it in. And then when you're done filling it in, just give it a once over and make sure all your brush strokes are going in nice in the same direction. Or maybe you want it to look super wild. Wild! Fill it in. Just fill it in. One tiny stroke at a time. Fill it in. Or maybe one big stroke at a time. It depends on how you see things, right? Oh, I'm glad you guys are having fun. Thanks for piping in. I love hearing your feedback. Painting, I feel, is like the cure-all. So if I'm sad, it makes me happy. If I'm frustrated, it lets go of my frustrations. Even if I feel sick and I have a headache, if I start painting, I feel better after. I can't tell you how many paint parties before COVID, and I was actually going out places and seeing people, how many times I didn't really feel good, but then I got to the party and we started painting, and it just cured everything, made me feel so much better. So it's a worked muscle. If at any time you're not feeling up to snuff or you're feeling a little out of sorts, you can always pop over to my YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party and just pick up a free tutorial there, and you can just watch and let loose. All right, guys. Oh, that's great. Yes, I love The Mandalorian. We're big fans in this house. I actually made my husband a big Mandalorian painting for Christmas, and he didn't want to put it up anywhere. So, yeah, I think this is definitely going to be my new business model from now on. Doing live paint parties online, and then maybe sometimes we can get together in public too. Okay, perfect. So the same thing that we did with the green, we're going to do with the brown and do some moving and a shaking in the background here. So I'm going to add a little extra water into that. I have barely any light brown left, but I'm just going to add that little extra water in there, and I'm going to scribble about in different spots. Make a nice washy background. Again, he's got a place to stand on down here, so I like to go back and forth a few times underneath of his little jacket. And brown isn't my favorite color to put in the background, so I don't do nearly as much as the green. I just keep it chill, just in a few little spots. Yeah, all right. Cool beans. This painting is just moving and grooving along, is it not? Did I already say is it not? I feel like I've never said that before. I'm starting to actually talk like Yoda. What is happening right now? Okay, so we're gonna put, I'm gonna go ahead and put some red on my palette now. And same deal. I'm gonna add a little bit of white in with my red, but not as much this time. So you can absolutely make his ear middles pink if you want to. I know. Well, just remember, guys. So I know that you guys might not all have Facebook with you right now, but if you want, you can post your pictures in my Julie's Paint Party public Facebook group. A lot of kids get their parents to post in there, or feel free to email me at juliespaintparty@gmail.com if you can't get on Facebook to show me, because I want to see all of the Baby Yoda paintings. All of them. Okay, so same deal. I got my little bit of red here, and I'm going to take a nice big scoop of white and put it over next to my red, and I'm going to make a lighter color of red. Now, I like to keep mine a little bit more on the red side than the pink side, but it's definitely lighter than the red that I had before. So you can see here, it almost looks like a salmon color. See that? All right. And that salmon color is going to be the color of his ears. So I'm going to add a couple drops of water in there just to keep it all good. And then I'm going to fill in his ears. All right, so one side at a time. Just take your time filling in his ears. And just remember again that we are going to be outlining his little face. So if you know it gets a little crazy around the edges, don't worry about it, because we get to outline it and it covers up all of those little spots. Oh, Violet May loves painting with you. Thank you for letting me know that, Nick. It's really, really nice to hear. I'm so glad you guys are having fun. It fills me up with so much joy. All right, so each side, ears, red, adorable. Just remember, friends, we're here for a good time, not a long time. And we're really here to just feel good. So let go of any idea of perfection. This is a great practice run if this is something that you want to do later. You know, you can totally try again. Everybody has an extra hour here and there to kill some time. What better way is there to kill time than to paint Baby Yoda? Okay, thank you, Sophia. That's great. So Sophia, let your mom know to post your painting in my public group. Kathy, yeah, this will be up later. So right after the party, this is going to be posted on my Facebook page. I'm going to bring it onto my own computer and edit it a little bit, and then it'll be up on YouTube sometime this week. So, oh, and Elise loves to paint with me too. Oh, that's so sweet. You guys, stop it. You guys are making me so happy. All right. So the ears obviously are very small, so we don't need to fill up a whole bunch of space, but we have all this extra red, so might as well throw some red in the background too, right? So I'm gonna throw 1, 2, 3 drops of water in my red paint here. And I'm gonna do a little, couple little red scribbles in the background. And just remember, I like to go up and down and back and forth. Up and down, back and forth. That's my way. This is the way. This is the way. And a little down here. I love when it gets all watercolory and it starts to kind of like drip a little bit. You can get some drippies. Ooh, drippies are fun. Now don't drippy if you don't have anything to catch the drips with. Beware of drippies. All right. So guys, I've been painting for a really long time. Like a long time. And I really have to say, I mean, as much as I've always loved doing art and loved painting, it's really been in the last couple years where I've been able to really see things differently. I took graphic design in college, and I remember my art teacher, he was such an incredible illustrator, and he said that, you know, he's like, oh, well, it's just practice. And to me, I was like, well, it can't just be practice because, you know, you have to have some sort of innate skill. But let me tell you, after practicing for the last few years and painting more than I ever have, it really helps. So if you're feeling like maybe you're like, oh, she's so much better than me or anything like that, just remember I have a lot of years under my belt. And honestly, if you like how it feels to do it, you should be practicing all the time because you get way better really fast. It's not like something like, you know, sports and you got to practice every single day. No, it's like, you know, practice a couple times a week and you're going to get way better super duper fast. Okay. Here we go. So the next step after we add our little red marks on there, what I like to do is I just like to put a few extra little scribbles before we do our outlines. Okay. So what I mean by that is that in all the little crevices of his body, you can see over here, there's a little extra dark brown in the little crevices of his jacket. So along his arm here, in the little bottom corners of his jacket, in any kind of little corners there is. And I even scribbled a little extra dark green in his fingers here. And you can put a little bit around too. So it's mostly in his jacket. So I just rinse my brush and I'm going to take a little bit of brown and just right in these little crevices, I'm just going to scribble in a tiny little bit of brown. So shoop, 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 shoop. And I'm scribbling. I just got this little tiny bit of brown on my brush. You can't even barely see it because it's such a little amount. And I scribble a little bit over on this side. And I'm not using the white brown, I'm using the straight brown. I'm going to scribble a little bit in his little crevice of his jacket here. And you know what? A little scribble goes a long way because then he all of a sudden has some shadows in his coat and there's a little bit of dimension in his jacket where we can see that it, you know, it's not just a drawing. Well, it is, but he's got a little bit more to him than just that one-dimensional color. So in all these little corners, I just scribble the tiniest little bit of brown along the edges, on the sides. You can even maybe do a little bit under his chin area too. Scribbling, so much fun. And I saw, do you use a Sharpie for the outline? You can absolutely use a Sharpie for the outline. Just make sure that he's colored in first. Or, I'm sorry, just make sure that he's dry first. Sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth. So make sure that your painting is completely dry before you start to outline him. And that's totally okay. The only thing with the Sharpie is that it's a different texture. So the paint is like a matte color and the Sharpie can be a little bit shiny, but you know, it definitely works. Okay, so I got a little bit of black here that I'm going to squirt on my plate and we can finally get to this guy's face. So I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of black on my plate. Black's where it's at, right in the middle. Ooh, don't drip. If I do this, it's going to drip. Now, for the outline, I am going to use a liner brush. Oh, thanks, Lynn. That's really, really nice. You're a great artist too. Actually, everybody's a great artist if you let yourself be. I'm telling you guys, it's not about the outcome. It really is about just colors and putting your colors on the canvas and feeling so good while you're doing it, okay? So, where is this? There it is. So I have this long skinny brush that I like to use. It's used and abused. I've been using it forever, so it even has like a little lean to it. I also have this brush here that would be a good liner brush. Let's see, you can use something like this. If you have a brush from the dollar store, one of these will work really good. Just something with a point on it so that we can have nice lines around baby Grogu's face here. Now, anytime I do outlining, I always add a couple drops of water into my black paint. And the reason for that is I'm on a paper, so it doesn't work. It's not exactly the same for this, but canvases generally have like little holes and bumps in them. And if you have a tiny little bit of water mixed in with your paint, it fills in those little crevices really, really easy. Not only that, but adding just 1 or 2 or 3 little drops of water right on the side of my black, so I'm not going right in the whole thing, just right on the side, just to add a little bit of liquidiness into my black. That just helps my brush cruise so smoothly along my painting. The lines go on nice and smooth. They don't go on super dry. Adding that 1 or 2 drops, maybe 3 drops of water really helps my outlining. So if you are deciding to paint the outline, definitely add a couple drops of water in with it. Now, also, I'm getting my brush nice and filled up, but I don't want it to be too full and I don't want it to drip when it hits my canvas. So I like to pull and I twist off some of that excess water. And now I have a nice full brush of black liquidy paint. I don't know if you can see it because it's not focusing right there. And then I'm going to be able to cruise all along those edges. So Roxana, your Baby Yoda is taking a while to dry. That's okay. A couple things before I get started on the outline I'll explain to you. Now, if your paint is really, really thick and wet, that's okay. Just take a dry brush, rinse your brush, dry it off with your napkin, and you can move your paint around on your canvas so that it dries a little bit faster. You can also grab a hairdryer to dry faster. And you can also just wait because all we're doing is outlining now. So if you would prefer to wait until everything's dry. And number 4, black generally covers everything. So if your paint is a little bit wet, I feel like it's going to be okay to do some outlines. All right. So with that said, I am going to start it with his eyes because let's be honest, the eyes are everything for this guy. He is all eyes. He's all eyes and all ears. And that's why he's so cute. Big lemon eyes. So I'm just going to slow and steadily, I outlined, and then I'm going to fill it in. Now, on the original painting, I'm going to make this optional. I added a little bit of, after his eyes are on there, I added a little bit of white into my black to make it just more of a deep gray color. So I'm going to say that's a totally optional thing to do. It just kind of lightens up that really stark black line by adding just making the outline a little bit more of a dark gray than a complete black. But outlining in black is going to be a lot easier. So I'm going to leave it up to you. But for those of you who want to, I'll show you what I like to do. Now, like I said, just, yeah, oh, thanks, Heather, yes. Hair dryer, whoop, whoop. Hair dryer works real quick. I know, I got to get myself a little mini hair dryer for my studio. It really does help dry everything really fast. It's nice. So I have my black here. I'm just going to take a little scoop of my white and add it in, and I'm going to make a dark gray. So black takes over everything. It does not take a lot of white to make gray. Anyways, just grab a scoop of white and add it with your black. And I'm making a little gray area right here. Now this is totally optional. You could outline your whole Yoda in black if you prefer. This is just a nice dark gray so that it's not so stark. It's not such a stark contrast against the skin. And you got to pick a place, start in a spot where you think you can make the nicest line, or you get the flow started in the right direction. Sometimes it can get a little awkward in certain places, but I feel if I start over on this ear here, I'm going to be able to cruise along all the way across his head. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start right at the tip of his ear here. Oh, that was a long shoosh. And same thing, I'm just going to add a little drop of water in there so that as I continue to cruise along, it's going to help my brush make nice long brush strokes. Adding in that little bit of water really does go a long way. Oh, good. I am using, it's a Canson mixed media pad, and you can get them at Michael's. This is a big one. I think this is a 14 by 17 inch. You can get smaller ones. You can get bigger ones even. You can get like 18 by 24 inch ones. I like this size because when I'm doing watercolors and stuff, I can put paint tape around it and I still have I can make a nice little white edge around the edges of it. And that it does lend well. You can totally make watercolorish paintings on this paper. You can use it to color with pencils or markers. It holds the paint well. It's definitely a score. And there's a lot of times where Michael's has these on like buy one, get one free. So, I mean, for me, I always like to grab up a couple when I can. Oh, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, Jamie, all good. This is getting posted right after the party. You can watch it, and it's also going up on my YouTube channel after, so you can watch it there too. So what we're doing right now, we're just continuing on, and we're outlining every aspect of our Baby Yoda right now. And I know his name is Grogu, and sometimes I like to call him Grogu, but sometimes I like to call him Baby Yoda. I called him Baby Yoda for like almost 2 years. So it was like, it's kind of been hard to transition to his proper name. And you know when I get quiet, because then I start to zone out a little bit. That's when I'm starting to concentrate. So same here. So it's, we drew our little eye pieces and his little eyebrows and his little forehead there first, so we can still see those lines through our paint, which is awesome. We don't have to guess. We don't have to guess where all those lines go. And one little line at a time, we can get those little details in there. His tiny little nose and his tiny little mouth. Anybody who made him look kind of sad, this is your opportunity to make him look a little happy. Right, Gina? I totally agree. So Gina says, I don't know anyone who calls him Grogu. Everyone just got used to people calling him Baby Yoda, right? Like, I agree. But we do know his proper name now, so I feel like it's important to start calling him by his name, even though Baby Yoda, it just rings. It just pops, It just pops. And yeah, it's these parts. So guys, anytime I'm painting, and you can hear it when I've been talking this whole time, but when I do my outlining, I tend to get a little bit concentrated. And that's because I'm finding my zone. I'm in the zone, I'm painting, I'm feeling good. And let me tell you a secret. So when you're in the zone, it means that you're vibrating really, really high. It means that you're in a really good space. So it's a really great opportunity to think of all of the things in your life that you're super grateful for. Whether it's your mom and dad, or maybe it's your, dog, or your new PlayStation, or maybe it's just, having food on the table. There's so many things that we can find to be grateful for. And if you can tune in to that gratitude button while you're in the zone, it is totally the secret to manifesting all of your dreams. And why? Because when you think about when you're feeling good and you think about all the things that you have, you're going to get more of what you already have, or more of what you're focusing your gratitude on. So, just a little secret tip that you got to push the gratitude button while you're painting or while you're in the zone. Maybe it's while you're playing music or running or playing hockey or doing whatever that is. It's the perfect timing. Okay. All right. Now, if you want, you can scribble a little more crevices here. So up in the corner of his ears, we can give him a couple little scribbles. You can give him some little scribbles under his eyeballs here too, just to make him look like he's that old looking Yoda-y character. And maybe even a little in his hands. I said that I scribbled green in them before, which I did, but gray would work too. Gray or black would work with a little scribble here and there. Even in his little coat, you can give him little scribbles in all these little crevices. If you want, you can do a couple little scribbles underneath of his body. Now, keep it chill. You don't want to scribble too much. These are little scribbles, not big scribbles. We don't want to take over Baby Yoda with scribbles. But it does lend to the expressive quality of your painting. And then the very last thing I like to do is to give him his, essence, which is just adding a couple little dots into his eyes. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush in my white paint, and not even my brush, I'm dipping the end of my paintbrush, so that my paintbrush handle in my white, and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 little dots into his eyes there. My white's kind of getting a little compromised. So 1, 2, 3. And now he's got a little glimmer in his eye. How wonderful. Oh, I'm glad you guys had so much fun. Yay, so did I. Now, sorry, even though the glimmer is the essence in the last part, we have to make sure that everybody knows that this is our painting. So go ahead, grab a Sharpie or a marker or whatever color or whatever you want. I'm just going to paint it on. And you just put your initials down in the bottom corner here, or if you come up with a fancy signature, that works too. I like to write Julie. But if I was doing my initials, it would be JR for Julie Robinson. And that is it. So Kathy's asking when the next paint party is. The next paint party I am having is on Valentine's Day. And let me show you what we're painting. Oh, it's so cute. So Valentine's Day is a free party, Facebook styles, just like the one we're doing right now. And we're painting this really, really cute, here, I'll put it right here. These cute lovebird succulents. Get this out of the way. So at noon on Sunday the 14th, we're going to be painting these 2 lovebirds. Oh, so cute. Thank you, Anson. I'm so glad. So remember, guys, take a look around on my Facebook page. You can see all of my upcoming events there. You can join in any free ones. I have a bunch of free stuff on my YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Julie's Paint Party. I do have some paid parties, and usually I charge $10 a party, but I also have a membership. So if this is something that you really enjoyed, the membership might be for you. So for $20 a month, you get all of my parties and all of the video replays, and you get to join in live to all of my paid parties as well. So that's something to look into if it's interesting. And thanks, Reese. Bye. Oh, good, Ivanam. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy that this worked out. Yay. Whoa, look at all those emojis. I'm into it. I wish there was Baby Yoda emojis. That would be really sweet. Let's get here. I'm gonna switch the spots. Let's see. There I am. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And thanks to everybody who sponsored this event, the We Tech Alliance, the Mama and Family Expo, the Rise on Women in Entrepreneurship, and the Windsor Essex Small Business Center. Thanks so much, guys, for inviting me. And just remember, this video is going up. Wow, that's a really big close-up of my face, isn't it? Whoa, Julie's got a big old face. And this is going to be up on my Facebook page, and it's also going up on my YouTube page after. So make sure you subscribe to that. And I hope you guys have a super wicked night. I can't wait to see all of your paintings. I'm not sure if I do an anime art party. That is something that I would definitely be interested in. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Sue. Oh, thanks, Peyton and Ashley. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for participating and actually chiming in and participating with me. It makes a big difference and it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much, guys. And with that, have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay? Bye, friends.